Hi everyone, my name is Jaime Martinez. I'm a senior backend engineer in the package stage and part of the container registry team. And today I'm going to be walking you through the three-step migration process for migrating the registry to the metadata database. This is, please check the documentation once this is merged. This process will help you migrate the existing registry data in a Helm chart installation in 3 steps. The advantage of this is it will actually minimize the downtime that you need during the migration, and it's recommended for a registry that has a lot of data in it. We're gonna do the 3 steps. Which one is the first one is pre-importing repositories. This is the bulk of the work, and it can take anywhere between a few minutes to hours or days, depending on the amount of data that you have. We're gonna do the import all repositories as the step 2, which basically imports the tags, and the step 3 is importing the rest of the data, which can be whatever dangling data we have in the registry. And this is important because the online garbage collector will take care of cleaning that up and reduce the storage costs that you may be incurring with your registry. So let's get started. We're gonna do the import repositories. Step 1, I'm gonna follow the requirements. First, we need to create a database with a Kubernetes secret. Just make sure the Kubernetes secret is gonna be the one that the registry uses to connect to the database. So it's basically the database password for the registry instance. So yeah, I already created a secret here, so I'm gonna skip this step, but just follow this step, and please use a different string here. Then we're gonna log into the Kubernetes. I have a Postgres instance running in Kubernetes. So this is just a test instance, but for a production environment, please use the recommended guidelines for deploying a database. So I'm gonna connect to the database, and I'm already in the pod for Postgres, and now I need to connect to the Postgres database itself. So we follow these steps, and that's all good. Now we're gonna create a username. First, we're creating the role called registry with a login. This is to allow the user to log into the database using a password. And the next step is to set the password for the registry user. So remember, this would be the secret that you created from this step, the first step. And I'm gonna skip that. I'm gonna go to this step, which is setting the password for the registry. I have it already somewhere here, so I'm just gonna put this. Okay, and I'm gonna exit, and I'm gonna just make sure that I can connect to this to the registry user. I'm just gonna move this out of the way for a little bit. All right, and then I'm gonna do this step again, but I need to change these values. The username is actually registry, which matches the role that we just created. Whoop. And this is gonna be the registry database. Oh, hold on. I think I didn't create a database. So yeah, I haven't created the database. I just created the username and the password. So I'm able to connect to the registry instance, but there's no, sorry, it's to the Postgres instance, but there's no database yet. If we list the databases, we only have these 4. So we should be able to create a database here. Nope. Okay. So I'm gonna have to connect to it again with the Postgres password. And before attempting to connect, I need to create this database here. Cool. So it has been created. Then I should be able to exit and log in again. Yep, that's correct. Registry. I'm connected now to the registry database. And as you can see, there are no tables yet. So we're gonna be doing that in just a second. I'm gonna exit this. I'm gonna go back to the second step. The second step is asking me, get the current Helm values from your Helm installation and save it to a values file. So the way to do it is you would run this command here and just pipe just send the content to a file. I'm not gonna do that because I already have this in a file here. As you can see, the registry section is here. And if I open the file, which I have here, it matches whatever we have already set for the registry here, which is basically just enabling and setting up the storage. Okay, so we are good to go with the requirements. Now we're gonna do, let's see, where am I? 3-step migration. Okay, so that was step 1. Step 2 is finding the registry section in the values file and adding the database section. So I already have this. I'm just gonna uncomment this section that I have here. And I'll explain a few things. The first one and the most important flag is to say configure true. This will allow us to generate the configuration for the database section and allowing the registry to connect to it. Then we're going to use the same name. This is the database name that we just created. This is a user name that we created as well. And the password is going to load the secret from the Kubernetes secrets. And I'm going to do SSL mode. I'm going to use disable. This is just because I'm using this for the tests, but for a real installation, for production run, please use a better practice like SSL mode verify full. We have a few other modes that are available in the documentation. This will allow us to load the SSL certificates so that you can use client authentication while connecting to Postgres. And the last step is having these migrations enabled true. So I'm going to show you that I have this. This is important because this will allow the registry to execute the schema migrations for the database when the registry boots up. And that is because if we don't have the schema migrations, we won't be able to use the database yet. So now that we have this, I'm saving the file and save the file and upgrade your installation. So what I'm gonna do here is gonna say Helm upgrade. It's in this other tab. Yeah. The one at the bottom. That's because I'm using a local copy of the chart. So while I do that, I use K9S, which is a tool to see your Kubernetes deployment happening, and you can see all the pods and everything that is running. So if I search for registry here, I'm gonna be able to see the pods running in here. This step takes a little while the upgrade is happening. So we just need to wait a little bit here. Okay, yeah, perfect. So as you can see, the registry is done. The upgrade is done. We can see this job that executed here, GitLab registry migrations. This is good. This actually is the step that I was talking about, where it's gonna execute the schema migrations for the registry. And as you can see, the message here, it says applied 159 migrations in 13 seconds. It's all good. So let's go back to the pods registry. Awesome. Yeah. So it's recycling the pods, and the new pods should be up and running. And so the next step that we need to do is shell into the pod. So as you can see, the name is here, GitLab registry. This is the name of the pod. If you haven't used K9S, I can show you how to get it. So git control, get pods, And there's one called registry. This one here, we're just gonna copy the name and we're gonna exec into it. So that's step number 4 in the docs. Exec STI, the name of the pod, and we're gonna use into bash. Perfect. So we are now in the container registry pod. So we're going to step 5. This is going to be, we need to change the directory to the home directory. This is for permissions that are required when running this. And now we're going to execute the step 1. This step takes a little bit of time. Like I mentioned before, we're going to just call the registry binary with database import step 1. And we need to pass the configuration file, which is at this location here, shown here. And I'm going to execute this. Now, as you can see, the first step is running. This will take a little while. So I'm going to pause the recording and I'm going to get back to you when this is done. All right, so the first step has finally completed. It took about 3 minutes and 53 seconds. And as you can see here, it says registry import complete. This is good news. The first step has completed. Something I forgot to mention, my registry has about 16.85 gigabytes of data. So yeah, it took about that in time. So yeah, perfect. This is first step completed. Now, please note, you should try to schedule step 2 as soon as possible. That is because the bulk of the work has been done, but whatever pushes that happen in between now and the second step being done, it's gonna just delay the second step a bit longer. So if you can do it right away or within a few days, that would be perfect. So okay, now let's go to step 2, which is importing all the repository data. This is very important. Requires the registry to be set in read-only mode and allow enough time for the downtime. During this process. So yeah, let's get into that. Let's exit this, and we're gonna clear this out. I'm gonna do this step here. So set the registry in read-only mode, which we're gonna do in here. So to enable read-only mode, there's a flag called maintenance read-only enabled, which I already have here. I'm just gonna uncomment this. Please notice at the same level of the other settings. So this has to be true. And that's the only thing we need to change. And we're gonna do is gonna Helm upgrade our deployment. Now, while this is being done, we can see that we can tag an image, for example, let's say new one, and then we're gonna push this. We're gonna try to push while once the registry is out of, once this upgrade is done, because the registry will be in read-only mode, so we shouldn't be able to push, but we should be able to pull images out of the registry. So let's see. Okay, that's good. That's done. The KNS. Wait for the registry pod. Awesome. Great. This seems to be running. Okay, it's initializing, and third one. Awesome. So now if I try to push, what's gonna happen is this push is gonna stay here for a while. And what's happening is the registry is replying the operation is not permitted. So this the Docker client will just retry and until it times out. So I'm not gonna wait until that happens. I'm just gonna let it be. Cool. So while this is happening, let's see what's the next step. We upgraded the registry, so we need to do the same thing. We need to exec into the registry pod, and I'm gonna show you a quick way to do it. If you have K9s, you can just navigate to the pod and press S, and that will allow you to shell into it, into the pod, and to the container registry container. And again, let's change to the home directory, and now we're gonna do step 2. So step 2 is gonna run here. It's the same registry database import, step 2. And oh, something I forgot to say. Let's try to pull an image from here. I have some random images in my registry, which I forgot to mention. I have here. So as you can see, there's a bunch of images present in the registry with a few tags. Please note that this is taking a while. I'm going to show you the difference once this is done. Yep, all the images are here. And if I try to pull, this is pulling. So this is perfect. It's all working. And now we're going to execute step 2. This one should take just a few seconds, no more. I believe it's no more than 30 seconds, but I don't remember. Let's find out. Perfect. Yeah. So it took 38 seconds, and there's only a few a bunch of tags, right, and a bunch of repositories. So of course this will take a bit longer depending on how many tags you have and the deployment that you have. So perfect. Let's see what's the next step. So as you can see, registry import complete, which is good. So now what we must do is go back to the configuration file that we have here. And there are 2 steps that we need to do. We need to remove the maintenance only. You can either say false here or simply just comment this out if you don't need that. And the most important step here is enabling the database. So now we're going to say true. And that's all you need to do. You now need to say, let's execute, let's upgrade our deployment, exit, and I'm gonna open K9 it's up here. Let's upgrade, whoop, upgrade GitLab. Yeah. So we have 3 pods running, and once this upgrade is done, we should go back to a new pod. So yeah, no more read-only, and we are enabling the database. Now, the good news about this is that now we're on the database after this step is done, and users can start using the registry with the database enabled, and it's going to be pretty good. You will see the difference in behavior once we reload the tags. We just need to wait for this to complete. Okay. The deployment is done. Now we just need to wait for the pods to be recycled, and just to make sure that we're sending the request to the right pods. Awesome. This registry seems to be running. Yes, it's the new one. You can see the logs. Awesome. We just need to wait for the last pod to be recycled. This one is terminating, so it shouldn't take connections anymore, which is great. Awesome. Let's try to let's reload this page and see how long it takes. Okay, perfect. It listed all the tags, and I don't know if you could notice, but this was way faster than before. If we go to the tags page, we should be able to see all the repositories. This is very, very fast in comparison because we're now loading the database, the metadata from the database, which is the whole purpose of this. And now that we have this, we can Docker pull just a random image, say H1 pulling. And if you notice, the logs are showing that this is happening. Whoop, I don't know what happened here. Can you miss? Registry logs. Yeah, perfect. So now that step 2 is complete. Let's do step 3. Now, step 3 is going to take a little while. I'm just going to leave it running, but this is, like I said, this is just to import the rest of the data from the registry. And this, you can leave it running. It's not going to affect the registry in any way because the most important steps have been done. But this one is important to allow you to allow online garbage collection to run and clean all the old data that you may have there. So this is important that you do. So let's just go into the registry. So let's go back. We need to shell into the registry pod again. Awesome. We're going to change to the home directory and we're going to execute step 3, which is highlighted here. Saying registry database import step 3 and a configuration file. And I'm just going to leave this running. And yeah, please reach out to the feedback issue if you have any problems, and we'll be happy to assist you there. And yeah, any questions, just reach out. Thanks for watching.